Thanks everybody. So today we're talking about our product BeaconSage from Aristotle Labs. Aristotle Labs has been around for about a year and a half. We're part of a company called Aristotle, which has been around for about 20 years, 21 years. And they've done a lot of digital engagement over the years through providing internet, also doing websites like arkansas.com, gulfshores.com, and many other tourism websites. And over the last year and a half, the Labs team and we've been creating products just kind of for the next decade of Aristotle's history. So today we're talking about BeaconSage, and BeaconSage is a product that allows you as a business owner to engage with your users on site. And so you can do this in many different ways, but it uses a technology called the physical web. And the physical web is a part of the Internet of Things. And how many people have heard of the Internet of Things? Like, it's kind of a buzzword that really nobody knows what to do with, right? Like, nobody really understands what to do with it. But what we believe, our team really believes, that it should connect you with the things that are most important to you and the things that are around you. And that's exactly what the physical web, which is a small part of the Internet of Things, does. It is this idea that you can walk up and use anything and get information from your business. Users can walk up and engage with you through social engagement as well. So the physical web, funny story, I showed this to management and they were like, there's not really enough branding on this slide. And so I went back and I created this slide. And they said, well, this one has issues. I don't see the issues. There's plenty of branding on it. So then Jason, who's actually in the back, went back and he actually came up with this little. It's a little much, right? Like, might be a little too overboard, but it gets the point across. Like, the physical web is using the web to bring the web to physical objects. And it's just as simple as maybe a piece of text, as the next bus is coming at 3:45 p.m. We can do that using the web and without having to download multiple applications for all the things that are around us.
Reaching and engaging customers can be difficult for any business. BeaconSage helps you capture new audiences by putting the power of the Internet of Things in your hands. With a Bluetooth beacon, you can deliver information about new deals to potential customers as they pass by your storefront. Create daily specials that bring in new visitors and build customer loyalty. Attraction owners, enhance your visitors' experience with interactive on-site content. Event coordinators, provide attendees with real-time updates right at their fingertips on their mobile devices. Realtors, now you can showcase your properties 24/7, rain or shine, even when you're not there. With BeaconSage, you can easily create engaging content, send notifications to prospects and customers, and track user analytics, all from one simple Beacon content management system. Where will BeaconSage take your business? The opportunities are endless. The future of on-site mobile engagement is here. Let BeaconSage show you the way.
So you can see it's just simply providing information to users and what we call just-in-time information. It's these micro moments where you can provide them with information such as daily specials or even loyalty programs with the scratch-off coupons, which we'll look at here in a minute. But also they can provide you with feedback. So hospitality can use it to have them fill out a form while they're waiting on site and give you more feedback. And to use BeaconSage, we need 3 things. The first thing that we need is a web page, and then we need a beacon and a beacon browser. So web pages have been around for a long time. There's nothing really, I'm sure we've all got web pages out there. But what we've done is use web pages to provide a content management system for you. So here you can see that with BeaconSage, it's really easy to design a page because you just pick a few colors and we'll paint the page for you. You can provide a logo and a little background. You can add information such as text, a YouTube video or a Vimeo video. There's Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram feed integration. You can do photo galleries, so you can showcase photos but also have captions at the bottom of those photos. And then we use what's called cards to provide a new way of seeing information. And then at the bottom, you can see a form, and you can create custom forms. And it sounds like a lot, but if you look at the content management system, this is done really easily. You create these quick pages, and then you can broadcast them out using a beacon. We have a sister product called BeaconSage RE, which is for the real estate industry and for realtors. And we actually connect with the Carmel's database to build the pages for them. So they don't even have to create pages, they just have beacons at their properties around the city, and you can provide them with information that's already in the Carmel's database. And we're starting to work with realtors to push this out around the city as well. So we can use powerful things like APIs for the realtors. We can even just provide some quick piece of information. Here you can see we've got social media integration, so they can share things on Facebook and Twitter. And with this particular page, there's also things like instructions. So there's interactive things such as scratch off, so you can see if you download BeaconSage right now, I've actually got a beacon in my pocket which lets you do this scratch off, and it's a lot of fun. Everybody has a lot of fun with the scratch offs. But the second thing we need, now that we have great content on these web pages, we need a way to send that information out. What we really need is a way to discover the things around us. We're so used to typing in www.coke.com and then drilling down to find the information we want. But what we really need is just the information to be on our lock screens so that we can go immediately to it. And that's what we're allowed to do with beacon technology. So we use Eddystone beacons, which uses the URL protocol, if you've heard of beacons in the past, to just basically broadcast out that URL every second. So we have a beacon, and I've actually got one here in my pocket, and they're very small. They run on a coin cell battery, and they just broadcast out a URL every single second. The battery will last about 2 to 3 years. It has an on-off button, so you could save the battery if you wanted to. They're weatherproof, shatterproof, dustproof, and we have had a lot of fun testing that out. And you can set the proximity to be just a few feet, so they have to be really close to the object to see it, or you can set it to be up to 300 feet. So let's take just the realtor example. Let's say that they put a beacon at the property, and that property is going to broadcast out that URL every single second. And when someone gets within range of that beacon, they're going to get a notification which they can swipe into and immediately see that information. The next thing we need is a beacon browser, which is an app. And I know that everybody's like, do we really need another app on our phones to be able to do this? But the beacon app is a little bit different from your usual app. So we've got a bunch of smart devices out there, and it seems that each of these smart devices requires their own application nowadays. And if Moore's Law is any indication of really what's going to happen over the next few years, they're just going to keep growing in number. And an example that I really love to give is if you go to a mall and you want to interact with all the different stores in the mall, are you really going to download an application to interact with all of those stores? It doesn't really make sense, and it doesn't scale very well either. But it makes more sense to have one application that you can see everything that's around you, interact with everything around you. And that's what we've done with BeaconSage and what we're accomplishing with BeaconSage. So right now in Little Rock and in Arkansas, there are a number of ways that you can go ahead and use this technology. Over the next couple of weeks, the Little Rock Zoo is going to be putting out 50 different beacons to show off the different animal exhibits and to show daily specials at the Cafe Africa. and you can see that they're showing off their social media Instagram post as well. So even if the animals aren't out that day, you can still see some video, you can still see some photos that allow you to have that experience as well. Also at booth, the zoo this weekend, we're doing a very interactive light and music display where you can walk up to these trees and you pull up one of the beacons, and it's an 8-note keyboard, and as you press the keys, a tree will light up and it'll play a sound. And so hundreds of people were getting on this thing at one time and playing, and it was crazy, but it was really cool too to see everybody playing and interacting with it. So you can do very interactive things with the web as well. Another example, we've got stores that are testing the scratch off so that they can have a loyalty program. And again, this helps drive people to come back to that location, to back to that business. And then in Eureka Springs, Turpentine Creek Wildlife Refuge is using beacons to again showcase their animal exhibits as well. But they're also driving traffic to sponsoring that particular animal. And you can see they've got photos of Bam Bam there. And also they're driving e-newsletter signups as people go throughout the park and walk around. So they're providing people with just-in-time information. And that's really kind of the way things are moving. I mean, things are coming to the point where the way that we receive information is changing. We want it to be right there when we need it. And so now we're able to have our businesses change with how we receive data now. So that is BeaconSage and the BeaconSage product. And you can check out BeaconSage.com, AristotleLabs.com to see more information about it. Thanks.
Awesome, thank you. Okay, so you guys know the drill. When you have a question, which I'm certain that you do, you're going to march your little tail over here. Normally that's for my camera so we can hear you, but today it's so that everybody else in the room can also hear you.
Yes.
So, who has a question for Matt?
Instead of thinking questions. This is awesome. This is really a cool product.
Thanks.
The interactive game using the zoo as an example, we walk through an exhibit, we got a beacon, we've got an app. Is it auditory or is it all visual? I mean, is there any audio attached to it?
Yeah, so you can do videos right now. So one of the things that we're working with Garden Gardens, we're actually going this Wednesday to deploy 50 beacons there, and they've got some video that has that talks about the different things that are around there. So if they have headphones or if they don't have headphones, it'll just play like a normal web page would play a video on your phone. But then also with the zoo, everyone is playing on one keyboard and it's coming out of one speaker. So we're able to do both, more of a general public type of audio, but also very personal type of audio.
How do you generate revenue?
So right now we have different plans. There are different tiers on our website. The lowest tier is $25 a month for 5 pages. That allows you to build 5 pages on the platform. And then the beacons are actually a one-time cost of $20 per beacon. And there's no monthly cost for the beacons themselves. So the monthly cost is for building the pages, much like you would do with another content management system that you use on the web. The benefit is that you're now able to build the content and manage the beacons in one place. And before, it's been very divided in how that happens. So that's how we're driving revenue. We're also working with grocery stores right now that we're doing a test for in Texas, and they're doing it using an API. So we also have an API that people can hook into to create pages and everything else, and there's pricing for that, enterprise pricing.
Fascinated with what you're doing here.
Thanks.
I'd like to know more about who your competitors are and how you market this.
Yeah, so the competitors are kind of few right now because this is a new technology that's just come over the last couple of years. A lot of people have heard of beacon technology, but in the past it's been using what's called iBeacons. The thing with iBeacons is that those beacons talk to a very specific application, right? So we still have to download multiple applications to interact with those beacons. So that's a number of our competitors are using iBeacon technology, but there are a couple of competitors that are out there that are using the Eddystone Web URL protocol, and they're in Europe. So right now, it's kind of us here in the US. And as far as marketing the product right now, we are talking a lot to hobbyists, to developers. I kind of feel like we're in that pre-PC era where the hobbyists and the homebrew club were the people that were buying computers, and that over the next couple of years, things really take off, because once people see the practicality of it and the ease of use, I think over the next couple of years, we're going to see a big rise. And right now, in 2016, it's $44 billion for Beacon Technology is what estimated revenue for, 2017. And that's going to grow exponentially over the next. And then I think about 2018 is when it's supposed to really hit in the consumer market as well.
So I have a quick question, because the BeaconSage that you download, the app.
Yeah.
So I've got the app.
Yes.
So any beacon anywhere is going to talk to that app.
Correct.
So I got two competitors sitting side by side that both have beacons.
Right.
What happens in that situation?
So the great thing about the Beacon app is that it doesn't really care about competitors, but it cares about the consumer. So whatever is closest to the consumer, when you open the app, whatever the closest beacon is going to pull up for you automatically. So that way you don't have to like search through a list like other beacon apps right now. But you can click out a little side nav and it gets you a list of beacons that are around you, and it sorts it based on proximity. So whatever is closest to you is going to be towards the top, and then you can just pick what beacon you want to see. And so right now that's how, I think as beacons become more prevalent, we may see different ranking factors, like it may kind of understand, oh, you like this type of thing more than this type of thing. We may do something kind of like Yahoo started doing folders before search engines, Yahoo started doing folders. I think we're going to get smarter over time. I know right now everybody on my team's like, I wish we had that in the office, because there's a billion beacons in the office going off. And but in reality, in the real world, there's beacons just kind of at different places, different pockets, like the zoo, Turpentine Creek, Garvin Gardens, and other places. So I don't think it'll be a problem for a while.
Just follow up. So each beacon goes to a URL.
Correct.
And that's changeable. I mean,
Correct. Yeah. Through BeaconSage.
Based on, hey, today we're running this special, so they can change
Exactly.
the URL.
Yeah, one of the things that we do is that, so you create your page in BeaconSage, then you go and you say, I want to point this beacon to this page. You can also say, I want to point it to a different URL altogether. Maybe you've already got a website and you want to show you want to show off that page. You can do that as well. But the great thing that we've also done that we've not seen elsewhere, even in the iBeacon market, is that you can schedule beacons. So you can say, from this time to this time today, I want you to point to this URL, and then from this time to this time, I want you to point to this page. So your daily specials may be different for lunch and dinner, and you can switch that out and just do it at the beginning of your day, and then not worry about it the rest of the day.
So, at $25 a beacon, you guys as a technology company, you guys sell like shitload of beacons to make money.
Sure, yeah.
Could you talk a little bit about the long game here?
Yeah, some type of retargeting based on what he did. So the long game for us is that we want to mainstream this technology. Yes, we're working with a beacon manufacturer to provide the beacons. We aren't a hardware company ourselves, so we've teamed up with a company elsewhere to do that. Our long game is to mainstream the technology. We have a couple of ideas for beacons that we're patenting right now. So that's part of the long game that is going to, again, mainstream that technology. But also, our cost is really on the software end. Like, we do the web and the content part of it really well. We make it very fast to download, because one of our other products, SwiftSage, that I've been working on is helping to find the bottlenecks of site speed. And so that's another big concern for us. So the long game is going to be in the software end and in the web page end, not necessarily in the hardware end. So yeah.
This is kind of a multi-layered question.
Okay.
How do you access the beacons to control when you have to go physically, or is there like, you sit at your desk and the beacon, you're communicating with it via satellite?
Oh, gotcha. Yeah. So that's where we had to get a little smart, right? Like we because in order to connect, so this is using Bluetooth. It's using Bluetooth Low Energy, which is why it has such a great battery life. What we did was actually program a short URL into the beacon, and then we're changing the long URL based on that, and that's why you're able to change in our platform what